What up? This is on the sick one to sobriety. My name is Robin. I'm an alcoholic and drug addict. So I left off with letting y'all know that I had to fucking do the drive of shame back to my parents' house. I ended up keeping that car that rightfully belonged to the parents of my high school sweetheart. They had given me the option to buy it, right? I had it with me. I decided that I was just gonna blow them off. I decided that I wasn't gonna pay for it. I decided to grow some balls. And when the girl asked me, "Hey Rob, my parents are asking for the car back. Bring it back." And I'm like, you know what? If they want it, they could come get it. I ain't taking nothing to nobody. Tell all your brothers, tell your dad that they're gonna have to mob it over here because me and my homies are not gonna give up the car. I didn't have any homies to back me up. It was just me. And I'll never forget. One day, I was with some fools. We're hotboxing. I drove back up to the apartments in this random spot. And sure enough, her brother and her dad approached me and I was like, damn, they busted a fat mission. And they're like, hey, came for the car. And según yo, bien fiera, según muy de huevos, que a la verga, que nadie me va a quitar el pinche carro. I would get crazy with her. But when they came for the car, here you go, senor. Sorry for bothering your night. Gave up the keys real quick because I was scared of conflict. I avoid conflict at all costs, especially when I'm on the sick one. And so I was carless now. But the only thing I had going for me at this time was that I had a job and I used to work security. And of course, I worked graveyard shift. That's a fucking must. What else was I gonna do? I'm up all night, anyways. So, this is the story of how my drug addiction ruined my first job. I was started to get high at work. I used to use at work, whatever. It would make me feel like of guilty, like I was doing something wrong. Obviously, right? Obviously, I'm doing something wrong. And little did I know that the company got sold because I've never been into the chisme of anything that's going on in the office or anything, whatever. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't give a damn about none of that. One day, the girl from HR calls me and she's like, "Hey, we need you to come in tomorrow. Bring all of your uniforms with you." Everybody knows what that means in the business. Bring all your. Why am I gonna come in tomorrow? Why am I gonna bring all my uniforms with me? That means I'm fired. And in my guilty conscience, I knew that I was fucking up and that I was doing something wrong. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna save myself the trouble. They're gonna fire me anyways. So why even go? So I just stopped showing up. Now this is where it gets scandalous. I didn't have the balls to tell my parents that I didn't have a job anymore. I could have told them. Obviously, any person in the right mind would have told them, like, "Hey, this happened. Whatever. I don't have a job. I'm gonna start looking for another job." No, not me. Not the good drug addict Robert. No, not me. I started lying to them that I had a job. Why? I don't know. I think about it. It's so fucking stupid. I started lying to them that I had a job, and I would, and you know, at this time, don't judge me, but my jefita used to make my lunches: two bologna sandwiches. She used to pack me 14 individual chips. You know, she used to count them out. Pringles, 14 Pringles, sour cream and onion. I had just had this little thing that I liked. You know what I mean? And she used to make my lunch every night. And I used to leave the house with my little brown bag with my sandwiches and chips and in uniform. Where was I going? Nowhere. I wasn't going anywhere. And I used to just post up in buildings or just whoever I could hang out with at nighttime. I would post up right there, or whatever I could do, whatever I could do. And then it came down to where it's time to get paid. It's payday. I have my bills to pay. I gotta pay my share of the rent. I'm not living there for free. I'm not eating for free. And trust me, I could grub like a mofo just in case you don't notice. And that's when the lying starts. Straight to my mama's face. I was like, oh, they. I'm sorry. They didn't pay me. They didn't pay me today, but they said that I just gotta go get the check tomorrow. And my mom's like, what? Like, what kind of business is this that they don't pay you? Where my dad used to work exactly for the same company I did. So he never went through any of that bullshit. And all of a sudden, they're going through the bullshit with me, you know? And I was like, yeah, they didn't pay me. They said they're going to pay me tomorrow. And then tomorrow came, oh, that's because, you know what? They're just going to pay me next week. And then when next week came, oh, that's because they just said they're gonna double it on the next paycheck. What the fuck? And I would just start lying to them. And that's just I will start and I didn't have the ball. Any normal fucking 20-year-old that's not on drugs and not trying, you know what I mean, would just face what's going on in life. But no, not a drug addict. They gotta come up with some crazy ass stories and lie for no fucking reason. Just because they want to keep getting high. And I didn't do nothing. I just used to go outside and sit in buildings all night, just tweaking on my phone or actually tweaking. And that's it. That's all I would do. That's how I ruined my first job. And it was a legit job. I freaking loved working for that security company. It was chill. Never dealt with no supervisors, never dealt with anybody. I just went, did my job, came home. That's it. But my dumb ass wanted to get fired. I got my nobody fired me. I got myself fired because I didn't show up. All I had to do was show up to switch uniforms for the new company. They were gonna give me new uniforms. And I didn't have the balls to go do that. Isn't that crazy? And I did. You know what's even worse is that when I was working these graveyard shifts, I used to have my mom take me to work. I didn't have $5 freaking to spend on the bus. My mom used to take me to work at 10, 11 at nighttime. And I remember my oldest brother, he got mad at me a little bit. He said, hey, like, why are you doing that to our mom? Why are you making her drive? Like, esta señora, esta viejita, like, she shouldn't be out driving you at 10, 11 at nighttime. Like, come on, dog. Like, what's going on here? And like, it was a little scandalous. Okay, not a little. It was a lot scandalous on my part to be doing that type of shit. And my mom would look out for me. She would shoot me fucking $5 for the bus. And those $5 would go straight to the connect. Those $5 was my little sack for the night. And I just used to use her like that. And I would always lie about freaking paydays. And it was just a vicious cycle of lies. And I would like I just couldn't stop lying to them, and every lie got worse and worse, and they knew it, and they just let me dig myself a hole, and I didn't know how deep that hole was. But that's how I lost my first job. That's how the lies started with my parents. To me, I don't know. They were like simple little lies, but it was just the beginning of something crazier where I just couldn't stop